Good evening. We're back with another Marvel Champions video, and this evening is going to be a review of the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel Hero Pack. The first hero pack that I reviewed, Captain America, amazing hero. After playing him, he's definitely the best hero that I've covered so far. We'll see how, it's not even really that close to be honest. We'll see how Miss Marvel stacks up. So we got the Kamala Khan Alter Ego, recovers for 5. Action: discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a Miss Marvel card, then add that card to your hand. While the ability to add a specific card to your hand is quite good, discarding cards is not so good because it gets you closer to getting another encounter card, but we'll have to reserve judgment on that till we see the strength of the Miss Marvel cards. Miss Marvel 1/1/1, terrible stats. Response: after you play an attack, thwart, or defense event, exhaust Miss Marvel, return that event to your hand. Okay, so you're not really meant to thwart, attack, or defend with her. This is a play cards multiple times type of deck. That's going to have a lot of combo potential, and I would say that even if this hero doesn't end up being very good right now, with the cards that are available to me, there is a pretty good chance that at some point she's going to get good. As more and more cards are added to the game, there will be more combos available, and probably at some point she'll get strong even if she isn't right now. But let's see what's available to her right now. First card for her hero cards is an ally, Red Dagger. 2/2 stats, 3 cost. When Red Dagger is defeated, spend 2 resources of different types. Deal 2 damage to an enemy and return Red Dagger to your hand. So overall you can get 6 attack for 3 cost plus 6 attack for 3 cost, or 4 thwart and 2 attack. That's okay. It's okay. It's nothing special. The Captain America hero cards were some of the best cards in the game. It's slightly better than an uppercut, I would say. Playing it repeatedly is something that's it's really good if the card is really good. Like if you could stun multiple times or something like that, but just straight up or damage or thwart where you're paying basically 1 resource for every 2 that you get, it's okay. It's nothing special. It's not bad, it's not good. Big Hands, 2 cost event, deal 4 damage to an enemy. Again, it's standard, it's 1 resource for 2 damage. It's not bad, it's not good. You could exhaust Miss Marvel to play it twice. Again, it's not bad, it's not good. So this Big Hands combined with Miss Marvel, it's versatile, I will say that. It's versatile, it's not bad, it's not overpowered. Sneak By, 2 cost, remove 3 threat. Meh, a little bit worse than Big Hands. But it's okay, you can use it multiple times if you need to, if you have the resources to do that. You'd have to spend all 4 of the other cards in your hand in order to play this twice, and if that's all you're doing for a turn, it's meh. Wiggle Room. Okay, so a 0 cost card that's a defense. When you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of that damage, draw a card, and then you can exhaust Miss Marvel and bring this card back to your hand. So this is a good card. This is the best card to play with Miss Marvel's hero ability that we've seen so far. 0 cost means it's always going to be available to you. It's going to basically generate a resource and prevent 3 damage, and then you get it back in your hand. So that's a good card with Miss Marvel. Definitely the best card that we've seen so far in her hero pack. Amir Khan, Alter Ego support. Exhaust him to place 1 card from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck and draw a card. Okay. A 1 cost card that draws a card is very good. Avengers Mansion costs 4 to draw a card, but it can do it every turn whether you're in hero mode or alter ego mode. I would say if it was a basic card that could only draw a card in Alter Ego mode, it would probably still cost 2 or 3. So a 1 cost Amir Khan is a good card. It's a reason to flip over to your Alter Ego. Compared to Black Panther's Golden City, it's worse, but it's cheaper. Bruno Corelli, 1 cost support, exhaust Bruno. Attach 1 card from your hand face down here, exhaust him to add up to 3 cards attached here to your hand. So this allows you to do some interesting combos. If you want to cycle but you don't necessarily want to discard cards, this would be really good on a hero like Black Panther. One of the problems with Black Panther is getting out the upgrades and the Wakanda Forevers in the right order. And if you could store a Wakanda Forever, if you could store a Wakanda Forever until you needed it, that would be amazing. Is this good with Miss Marvel? Well, there's a lot of combo potential with these cards I'm seeing. With Bruno Corelli, with Wiggle Room, with Miss Marvel's hero ability. And I stand by what I said earlier, even if she's not good right now, there will come a time when she is. And we'll have to test her out to see if she's good right now. It's hard to say with decks or a hero pack that has a lot of combo potential. She'll definitely need some play testing before we can say for certain whether she's good. I will say right now that she has potential, but it's not like a slam dunk like it was looking at Captain America where you're like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna do some work. Nakia Bahadir. I'm probably pronouncing the names terribly. 1 cost support, exhaust Nakia, reduce the cost of the next card you play this phase by 1. That's great, but it only works in the Alter Ego. That's not great. She's giving reasons to switch to Alter Ego. Was the last card? Yeah, the last card you can only attach a card when you're in Alter Ego. The problem with Alter Ego and Solo is that you'd usually want to stay in hero form as much as possible. You rarely ever want to switch to Alter Ego in true Solo because there are some quests where you're in danger of just losing immediately. If you ever switch to Alter Ego, you want to get into a stable situation where you're controlling the boss and staying in hero mode almost all the time. So a hero like She-Hulk, where you really need to switch to Alter Ego a lot to take full advantage of the cards, just isn't good in true Solo. And I fear that may be the case for Miss Marvel right now, but we'll see. So we took a look at Nakia, and now we're looking at Biokinetic Polymer Suit. 1 cost, exhaust to generate a wild card resource for an event. Okay, it's a good card. Generates resources. Embiggen. When you play an attack event, exhaust Embiggen. Increase the amount of damage that event deals by 2. So this is an upgrade. So that allows you to... Well, you would need to take advantage of this at least twice per game to make it okay. 3 times would make it good. And you can do that with Miss Marvel's ability. The problem with this card is that is similar to the problem with Black Panther, is that a lot of times you're going to be paying 2 cost and getting nothing for it right away. And in true Solo, you're like in crisis mode so often you need to get something immediately for every card that you play, or you will just lose because you're constantly on the brink of losing on expert difficulty. If you can get this set up out on the table in a situation where it's safe to do so, and then take advantage of it 3 times, it's a good card. If you only take advantage of it twice, it's okay. Once, it's bad. Shrink. When you play a thwart event, exhaust Shrink and increase the amount of threat. When you play a thwart event, exhaust Shrink, increase the amount of threat that event removes by 2. That's a weird way to word that. Doesn't say remove an additional 2 threat. Anyway, similar to Embiggen. You need to use it twice per game to make it okay, 3 times to make it good. Is that possible? Yes. Now, are you going to get in a situation where both Shrink and Embiggen are both good for you in the game? You're going to be able to make use of each of them 3 times in a game? Probably depends on the game. This hero is looking like a little bit more of a multiplayer focused hero to me right now because of the setup time required for Shrink and Embiggen. But we'll definitely play some games with her in true solo and see. So that's the end of her hero cards. Well, the best card to use with her hero ability so far is Wiggle, and Shrink and Embiggen provide the potential to do some big power boosts, but they do take some setup to get there. And will that be possible? Well, the main thing that makes Captain America good and makes Iron Man viable is their ability to remove, maybe not the main thing, but one of the biggest requirements for a hero to be good in true solo is the ability to remove threat every turn. Captain America can do 4 threat every turn for the cost of discarding 1 card. Iron Man can do 5. How much can Miss Marvel do every round? Upgrade doesn't do threat removal every round on its own. None of her cards give her threat removal that's repeatable every single round. Sneak by when you draw it, and it can remove a lot when combined with what was it called? Because you can provide strong defense for yourself in true solo by playing the leadership aspect, because you control the boss's attacks with allies and with Mockingbird, and with Captain America also with his heroic strike. So Miss Marvel will control the boss's attacks using Wiggle and with leadership allies, but how does she control the threat? She can only thwart for 1 herself. Red Dagger thwarts for 2, 4, that's nothing special. And then the only threat removal that she has is Sneak By. That seems like not enough to control the threat in expert level quests. At least not at the moment. She will do a decent job of controlling the boss's attacks combined with the leadership aspect. But if you switch to Justice aspect to give her extra threat removal, then how do you control the boss's attacks? Then you have to rely exclusively on Wiggle Room. And how much HP does she have? She has 10. That's nothing special. So she's going to struggle in either defense or threat removal is what I'm seeing right now, until she gets set up with the Sneak By and the Shrink. There's only one of those Shrinks in the deck though. So this doesn't look like a strong hero so far. At least not with the cards that I've currently looked at. So let's move on to the aspect cards. First up we've got Nova, 4 cost. That's expensive. 1 thwart, 2 attack. When an enemy initiates an attack against you, spend a lightning resource, deal 2 damage to that enemy. You don't even have to exhaust Nova. That's a really strong ability. That's a really, really strong ability. Too bad it's not an Avenger, so you could get it out with Quinjet. Well, actually, Quinjet's a leadership card. This improves the protection aspect quite a lot. Protection was the weakest aspect, in my opinion. Nova improves that a lot. He's strong. Very strong ally. You could get any number of... You could get a lightning resource play with 2 damage every single round. You could just leave him on the table, use it over and over. Get like 8 or 12 damage out of him. So that's a very strong ally. Anytime you can get more than 2 thwart or 2 damage per resource spent, you're in great shape, and that's a good card. And that is definitely possible with Nova, given a long enough period of time. Get Behind Me we've seen before. Preemptive Strike. I don't think we've seen that before. When a boost card is turned face up while the villain attacks, cancel all boost icons on that card. Then deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost icon canceled. Pretty good defensive card. One of the main things that protection needs to be viable in true solo though is threat removal. So it's not really going to change, nothing's really going to change the equation for protection in true solo unless it adds threat removal. unless there's something that works especially well with a specific champion. And so far we have not seen that, but Preemptive Strike is fine. Could give you 2 or even 3 damage and 3 defense. That's a strong card, definitely worthy of inclusion in any protection deck. I would include that. That's an auto-include card. But it doesn't make protection viable. Unless you have a hero with really strong thwarting, that's what you would need to make protection viable. Because leadership provides strong defense and some thwarting with the allies that you get. Tackle. Stun an enemy if you paid for this card using a strength resource, deal 3 damage. Well, that's just like a Heroic Strike, but much worse. Heroic Strike deals 6 damage and stuns an enemy. This is just 3. It's nice to provide some CC out of the aspect cards. It's not exclusive to a certain hero. Stunning an enemy is really good. Is it good enough that we'd pay 3 for it and just get 3 damage in the stun? It's possible. Like I said, leadership really controls the enemies well. By using chump blockers, provides some threat reduction, and allows repeat plays of Mockingbird for stuns. So protection's got a ways to go to catch up. This helps a little. It is expensive though. Power of Protection, we've seen that before. Energy Barrier. When you would take any amount of damage, remove 1 reflection counter from here, prevent 1 of that damage, and deal 1 damage to an enemy. So overall you get 3 damage prevention, 3 damage to enemies for 2 cost. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It helps with controlling enemies. These aspect cards seem very focused on providing additional damage to protection. Apparently the developers looked at the aspect and came to the conclusion that that is what it was really missing. In my opinion, it's really missing threat reduction, but maybe they had some specific heroes in mind that they wanted protection to work with. That's it for the protection cards. In the basic cards, Lockjaw, 4 cost, 2 thwart, 2 attack. He takes 2 damage when he does that. You may play Lockjaw from your discard pile during your turn, paying his resource cost. So you can keep playing him over and over, but each time you only get 4 thwart for 4 cost or 4 attack for 4 cost. That isn't very good without healing. I probably wouldn't run this card. Even with the limited availability of allies right now, I probably wouldn't run this card without healing. Even with healing, I'm not so sure. Maybe he's meant to be run with protection and you get healing on him, but I don't know. Just playing him over and over for 4 thwart or 4 attack for 4 resource cost doesn't seem very good. Maybe the Inhuman tag will have some synergy later. But I don't think I would run him without healing, but keep him in mind for the future when additional cards come in. Energy, Genius, Strength, Avengers Mansion, Endurance, 1 cost, gain 3 hit points. It's meh. Maximum 1 per player, so you probably wouldn't want to run too many of them. It's okay. I probably would look at it only if I ran out of good cards to play. Enhanced Reflexes. So we've seen a card like this before. Pay 2, you get 3 resources. This one's Lightning. The other one was Science, I think. It's going to have some use, but it'll get cycled out as soon as better cards become available. It'll have niche appeal to certain decks that really want lightning resources to be available reliably. Okay, so we got Justice card. Concussive Blow. Confuse an enemy if you paid for this card using a strength resource, deal 3 damage to that enemy. It's similar to Tackle. It's okay, it's expensive, but CC I think is meant to be expensive. So if you play Mockingbird, what you get You pay 3, you get a stun, you get 2 damage, and then you get a jump block for however many. It can be 4, 5, or 6. So you get like 8 value. Let's say you get 6 value out of Mockingbird plus a stun. This card you only get 3 value plus a stun, and you can't use it repeatedly. It's weak. I think it's weak compared to Mockingbird. It offers something, but the something that it offers is quite expensive for what it gives you. Morale boost. Choose a hero until the end of the round. That hero gets +1/+1/+1. It's meh. I don't think I'd run this. It doesn't offer enough, because often you're only going to get +1. You'll only take advantage because you're only going to use 1 action. And just like 1 thwart for 1 cost is pretty bad, really. So I don't think I'll run this card. Melee. 3 cost. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. Deal 3 damage to another enemy. It's fine. A part of the problem with this is that you often are going to be overkilling or underkilling enemies unless they have exactly 3 HP left. But I think generally this is fine. You can use it to deal 6 damage to a boss. It's just a straight upgrade over Uppercut. So I think this is an example of power creep. I don't think you would ever run Uppercut anymore unless you're already running Melee and you need additional Uppercut, or you're really running like a strength resource build for some reason. So it's better than a card that's come before it. It'll replace that card, but that card was meh. And this card will probably get replaced by other cards as well. But for now, it's fine. Downtime. 1 cost upgrade. Play under any player's control. Your alter ego gets +2 recovery. I don't think that's very important. I probably wouldn't run this card. In true solo, you really don't want to be recovering very often, like maybe once per game. So this would be like first aid, basically. First aid, except you can't use it on allies. So yeah, I don't think this is good. And that's it. Overall, I'll have to play the hero, but it doesn't seem like a very strong hero to me. Certainly not one that I would recommend buying over Captain America. That's not even close. It doesn't seem. But when all's said and done, when all 43 hero packs are out, is there going to be a really good and fun Kamala Khan deck? Probably, because I think there's a lot of combo potential for her with being able to play events twice. There's potential there, and that one support card that allows you to build up cards there and then bring them back later, that has interesting potential. So we'll try out Kamala Khan and see, but I don't expect that much from her. And probably need to wait for more hero packs before she really becomes good. So thank you for watching.